was like, we just went into it. So today we're going to talk about the hidden mess in the mind. And for everyone that is watching, one thing about Rebecca that I absolutely love. So full disclosure, I actually stalked her. I watched her YouTube videos before we connected. And Rebecca, feel free to chime in. Um, she studied with this amazing what was it? Spark
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, sorry, I think there was like something. I don't know if you heard something glitchy with the sound just now, or was that okay for you just now as well? But anyways, okay, I think it's
Let's get
all
into it.
sorted. But yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome. And honestly, I was just so excited to jump onto this live with you because, just about how the hidden mess isn't just in our homes, it's in our nervous system, our decisions, and the way that we relate to ourselves. So I'm a master KonMari consultant. I'm certified by Marie Kondo, and I'm currently based in Edinburgh, Scotland, but I was born in LA, where you're based,
I'm in
Lillian.
LA.
And so I work with highly sensitive and deeply attuned people to declutter not just their homes, but their inner worlds, because the external mess is often just a reflection of internal overload. So when we clear the noise around us, we can finally hear ourselves again.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and I really loved your recent post as well, the 12 life-changing lessons from Bob Proctor.
Yes.
And I saw part one, and then, I love that quote that you put down. Your success isn't blocked by circumstances, it's blocked by conditioning.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
true. What does that conditioning look like? It can look like scarcity mindset, and a lot of times it's inherited. Right? We were talking about that when we chatted the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. And what we get to do today is we get to break, I like to say it, we get to break the generational curse. We have information, we have awareness, we get to make
Mhm.
changes. And one thing that's very interesting, I was on a coaching call with my clients yesterday, and I
Mhm.
always say this, like how your mind is, it expresses externally. I think you just said that. And
Mhm.
it's your house, it's how you dress and how you show up for yourself. And
Mhm.
this is a very interesting subject that one of my client brought up, and I think you and I could really talk about it.
Mm.
She dresses up very nicely,
Yeah.
but the way she had told me was, "But I feel like I'm hiding myself because
Mm.
there's something that is holding her back." Yeah, she is presentable, she does dress nice, but she's
Mhm.
not achieving the results. So there's something even more deeper when we look at the mind, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
wanted to talk to you about that because I think that's a very interesting thing that not that many people talk about.
Absolutely, and I see it all the time when I'm working, with clients as well, where, our clothing becomes a modern day armor, and I'm
Yes.
sure you see it, especially because 'cause you've worked in, corporate settings too, right? It's like, the designer bags, the high heels, like, the fitted dresses, all of that, and, one of the things is it becomes very performative.
Yes.
And part of this work, the decluttering, it's not traditional decluttering, right? This is really deep inner work that we go through and that we let go because a lot of that conditioning comes from, oh, this is what the media tells me, this is what society tells me, this is what my family tells me.
Yeah.
So all of that gets, all of that actually ends up being um, infused into our purchasing behaviors.
Yeah.
And then so that shows up in our closet.
Yes.
You can have really good outcomes, but if that's not you, then, you're gonna get that imposter syndrome. You're not
And
dressing
I
well.
oh, 100%, and I wanna add something, I started my career with Bob Proctor, and this
Mhm,
is one thing that he really helped shift my mindset and thinking.
mhm.
Everything that you just said, I used to do that too. That was all coming from the external factor because I'm trying to please people, I'm trying to prove people.
Mhm.
What was interesting that I've learned from him and really transformed my life and all of my clients' life too was, when you wanna feel good, take care of yourself. So,
Yes.
yes, I'm still buying things, but what has happened was I'm asking myself, "Does this make me feel good?" And
Yes.
not make me wanna, to have other people see me, and I that was an internal shift. That was an internal conflict that
Yeah.
I was going through. So a lot has
Mhm.
changed, my habits went from, buying cheap stuff because, Asian paradigm, this
Mhm.
kind of stuff that I don't really need, to
Yeah.
I buy less, but I buy nicer stuff, and the change,
Yes.
yeah, the external action could be the same, performing. I'm still buying things, right? But the change is an internal shift. I'm doing it for me. I don't care what people think, what I drive, and what I wear. But what I do care is when I wear it, do I feel good? Does it make me feel good? Because when I feel good, I show up more confidence. Maybe
Mhm.
what I like to wear is not in trend right now.
Yes.
Right? And
Mm,
I'm totally okay with it because I feel like it makes me feel good, it makes me confident, um, I love it, and that
yeah.
was the biggest internal shift, so, I love what you're saying, I love what we're talking about, like, yeah, I always say the first impression is important, especially when you wanna own a room, whether you're on stage or in
Mhm,
corporate, you're
mhm,
leading anyone, it's very important, but also at the same time, building that confidence, it's how you see yourself and being able to show up,
mm,
one thing I've learned was I gotta know who I am first before I even believed it, but I
yeah.
knew where I wanted to head. And I
Mhm,
started to dress like that person. When I say dress like that person, it's really doing it for me, the future Lillian,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
right?
And that's
Yeah,
why we're so aligned, and we had such a great chat the other day because, the KonMari method is really based on joy and purpose and
yeah,
also releasing with gratitude. So I really loved how you also touched upon the people-pleasing tendencies too, because this isn't just about what you wanna keep in your life, but it also becomes a really embodied way of practicing to say no, but
yeah,
not resentment, like, not none of that residue, because if you're not letting go fully, if you're not letting go in a healthy way, it actually it's still stored inside of you.
yeah.
So that's why we're using gratitude. That's the superpower.
I wanna touch on this a little bit. So,
Mhm.
I'm live in LA, you know LA.
Yeah.
When I think about this word gratitude, and I say this all the time, like,
Mhm.
really embody it because the reason why I bring up LA is, like, everything is gratitude. It's been commoditized.
Mhm.
You go to a dollar store, you see gratitude, decorations. You go to Pottery Barn, you see it. There's Gratitude Cafe. But
Mhm.
what does it really mean? Because I even remember when I watched the series Spark Joy, it's very simple. If it brings you joy, and then thank
Yes.
you for your home. Right, and
Mhm.
that's something that we often forget. It's
Yeah.
like, when you're grateful for the little things and even
Yes.
for yourself, it
Mhm.
really opens up in abundance. Have you heard of the book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace DeWattles?
No, I haven't. I'll have to put that down.
It's a
Okay.
classic. So, it's a
Yeah.
classic, it's been around, definitely highly recommended. He has this whole chapter on gratitude, and this is a book called The Science of Getting
Yes.
Rich.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
when we look at gratitude, what it is too, we're changing a perception
Yeah.
on how
Mm.
you look at things,
Yes.
right? Um, Speaking for myself, I used to live in the victim mindset because
Yeah.
I was past it. I
Mhm.
used to, and this is the easy thing. I used to blame everyone, oh, the economy. Oh, it's the people. Oh, it's my boss. Right. But what I didn't look at then and what I do right now is, every, let's say, experience and every job I ever had, whether it worked out or not, be grateful for the experience that's building us up. And, I'm grateful to be able to connect with you. I mean, you're all the way in Scotland. And
Yeah.
I know, like, when we connected, it was like boom, win straight, like fast friend. And
Mhm.
my point is, once you open up into the universe and you pay attention to it, and you're grateful every single day, that's when you get to see these opportunities out in front of you.
Yeah.
Or, like, what happens is opportunities show up, you don't see it, and the door closes on you. I know that because I used to be that person. So I'm saying if you're
Mhm.
watching this, even the replay, do not be that person.
100%. And I used to be that person too. Like,
Yeah,
so, and everything that you're saying resonates so deeply because how do we build that capacity and that awareness? Knowing and doing are two different things. And this is why I am so passionate. And that's why I'm a KonMari consultant as well, because, what I've realized is that our homes serve as this beautiful training ground to be
yeah,
able to practice that gratitude and the letting go aspect. The more we practice it, then that's actually how we build up resilience and we're able to attune ourselves to the things that are around us, just like the opportunities that you're saying.
yeah,
And we're able to view life through the lens of gratitude. So this work is also very personal for me because in our household, we've navigated chronic physical and mental health challenges.
yeah,
My husband lived with a degenerative disc condition. He's had it for over a decade, and I have mental health challenges since I was 11.
Mhm.
what supported us isn't actually pushing harder. It's creating environments and rhythms that actually support our nervous systems. And then this is actually how we're able to show up and live well with the conditions that we have. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important because I know that you're coach as well, especially in the leadership realm, and there's so much around like hustle culture, like very toxic narratives as well.
Yeah.
And this is where we're able to be like, hey, you know what? Let's take a step back. Like this isn't for me. And I know that you were in that position too. You're like, okay, like I'm gonna walk away from this, but it's doing it from a place of empowerment.
Yes. And what you're
Because
saying is alignment
yes, yeah.
and recognizing that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, the KonMari method, a lot of people think, oh, it must be minimalism, but it's not. It's more, I like to call it intentionalism. So
Mhm.
it's about being intentional, intentional with their choices. And you're choosing to buy things consciously, just like how you're talking about, you're like, oh, hey, hang on. I don't want to support ultra fast fashion. I want to be able to buy things that last. I want to support independent designers, so on and so forth, right? So these all get embedded in our future purchasing behaviors. And then
Yeah.
that supports the life that we want to walk and live, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you ever heard of, the vacuum law of prosperity?
Mm-mm.
So,
No, tell me more.
well, it's very similar to what, you're saying. So, the natural laws of the universe is the laws that govern success. It just is, right? So this is a
Mhm.
little bit more spiritual, but it made so much sense to me. Whether it's your mind, whether it's in your house, whether it's in your closet, if things are not in harmony with you anymore, right?
Mhm.
Take it out.
Yeah.
And don't worry about, the Omi will be like, "Well, it's so expensive," or "How do I do this?" Like, don't worry
Mhm.
about that because nature will always abhor itself at the
Mhm.
vacuum, so
Mhm.
it'll be replaced. So,
Yeah.
if there are dresses I don't like, and by the way, I am now the queen of decluttering because if
Yeah,
if
I love
I don't like it, if
that.
it's not happy, I don't feel happy in it,
Yeah.
it's gone, right?
Yes.
But it'll always be replaced
Yeah.
somehow. Like, I'll track the money, something will come in. Same thing with
Mhm.
your furnitures. If it's something that you don't like, but you're like, "Well, I can't afford a new couch," or "I can't afford the curtains," throw it away first, and then
Mhm.
it'll happen. So the
Mhm.
vacuum law of prosperity is whatever is not in harmony with your mind, you wanna take it out and it'll be replaced.
Mm.
Intentionally
Yeah.
replace it with a good thought, a good habit. So a great example is what we see the most is when you don't have the awareness, a lot of people, they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna quit smoking or I'm gonna quit drinking."
Yeah. Mm.
Without the awareness, they end up going gambling
Yeah.
because
Mm.
whatever that's in that void is always gonna be replaced. That's just how nature works. So
Mhm.
intentionally
Mhm.
put something in your mind that's gonna bring positivity into your life based on where you're going in life.
I love this so
That's
much.
important.
There is definitely there's also, like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a like for like replacement as well. So, because sometimes it comes up, it's like, oh, I really don't like this, but I can't afford it right now. And that's okay. I think there's also the element of like, we can have a mindset shift around it. It's like, hey, I'm setting the intention to upgrade you.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be immediate, but you're already planting the seed.
yeah,
It's, "Hey, I don't want to tolerate this anymore, but I'm also going to be realistic," and then it's
yeah,
like, "Okay, you're setting that intention, I'm gonna upgrade you," and then have that think about, "Hey, how do I actually want to upgrade this?" Maybe it's like the color, maybe it's the material, the design, right? So this is where it gets really fun because it is that mindset.
yeah.
So then we're removing those blocks and those scarcity mindset. And most people think the mess slowing them down is physical, but it's actually the decision fatigue, the
Yeah,
emotional backlog, and the unprocessed maybes.
yeah.
So, oh, I'll just do this later, right? Like, so those kinds of things, like clutter isn't what's on your floor, but it's what's unfinished in your mind.
One of the I always remember this, heaven's first law is organize.
Mhm.
It's order. It's bring order to your mind, bring order to your planning, bring
Mhm.
order into your life, right? Because
Yes.
you see this, like, when the mind is so much like, okay, we talked about decision. I love teaching decision. Uh, when you are able to make a decision and you can commit it to yourself, that's you leading yourself. That's your commitment to yourself. That's
Yeah.
respect to yourself. Remember, indecision is always a decision.
Yep.
And
Yep.
indecision ties into your self-image. Indecision creates a mental war zone. That's
Oh,
what you're saying. "Oh,
yeah.
there's so much decision I have to make. Okay, I'm just gonna check out." But
Yeah.
when you bring order to it, now what happens is
Mhm.
you bring clarity to it. Then you have
100.
steps, you have a plan. So
Yeah.
that overwhelmedness or that bottleneck
Yeah.
goes away. 'Cause
Yeah.
I will tell you, I used to get overwhelmed all the time. I'm still human, I'm not gonna say that
Mhm.
never happens to me, but I do know, like, I if there's a plan, there's something I wanna do, I sit down, I write it down, "This is what I am going to do," and
Mhm.
actionable plans. There's a
Yes.
big goal, there's a small actionable goals, and I just do it one step at a time, and that's how I move the needle, right?
Absolutely, and, like, overwhelm is simply not knowing what the next step is. So I see this all the time because if you tell people, it's like, "Oh my gosh, like, you have to declutter your entire home," you freeze. You're like, "I don't know where to start. I'm just gonna, like, park it," and I see this so often in my work, like, most of the time after we get started, and it really doesn't it's an investment of time that you gain back many folds, and I often ask my clients, I'll be like, "How long have you actually been thinking about doing it compared to the time it actually took to do it?"
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hell of a lot more time. Yeah, so, like,
I
the with the HomeWire method, you're not just tidying, but you're actually training your brain to make aligned decisions one item at a time.
mm,
Average home, according to a German study, has around 10,000 items, Lillian. So that's 10,000 items, decisions made using the KonMari framework. Does this serve me? Does this belong in my life? So over time, this actually rewires your brain from default overwhelm to intentional choices.
mhm, I love that.
Mm, and, it's like it's actually a mindfulness practice too, so mindfulness plays, like, a really huge role in our household. My husband is actually, a mindfulness teacher and a leadership coach as well, so he leads, like, leaders and also elite athletes using mindfulness. And what we always hone in on is that, awareness, practice, observation, it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained and honed.
Yeah,
So, again, going back to our home is that training ground, right? So, like, I used to be chronically negative, and
yeah.
what surprised me most is that decluttering shifted that because I was practicing choosing what stays instead of focusing on what's wrong.
Mhm.
And this is actually like the biggest differentiator with the KonMari method and other traditional organizing methods. Normally, you go in thinking, okay, what do I want to get rid of? And you're honed in, you're focused on, the things that are broken, the things that are stained, the things that you want to immediately get rid of. But
Mhm.
with this method, we're actually focusing on what do you want to keep?
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
what gives you joy. It actually fills up your heart space and you feel abundant. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that positive psychology infused in it too, because when you feel like you have enough, that's an abundance mindset.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I really love what you said earlier. It's so true. I never thought about that. It's like, you have 10,000
Mhm.
items in your home, that's 10,000 decisions. And the more you could think clear, like set intentions on what would you love? I like to use what would you love, what sparks you joy.
Mhm.
It just makes it so easy. Is
Yeah.
that I always say this, like, most 95% of people in the world don't have a crystal clear goal.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned is when you know what you do, for peak performers, once they have a clear goal and they know it from their gut, this is their why, this is their purpose, every
Mhm.
decision you make is towards that. Same thing with what you're saying. It's like
Yeah.
once I know, okay, for me, it's like what makes me happy? What do I need?
Yes.
My daily essentials, and then
Mhm.
what makes me feel good. And I like to make decisions for my future self. I have this quote that I say all the time. The greatest threat in uncertain times is not failure. It's leading from who you used to be and not who you are becoming. So,
Mhm.
like the as I am preparing myself for the next level, how
Yeah.
am I dressing? What does my house look like? When I come home, how do I want to feel? My work environment. How do I wanna be working, right? All of this takes into factor because for me, my environment is what's gonna build me as an individual. What it's
Yes.
and that's gonna show up on my work, my family, my personal life, and the
Mm.
more I feel good, I feel the joy, people
Yeah.
around me is gonna feel it. I mean, who
Mhm.
wants to hang out with a Debbie Downer?
Yeah, and it's everything is energy. So I love what
Yes,
you had said
yes,
earlier
yes.
about like, the spiritual aspect of decluttering as well, because this is something that I'm often repeating, which is if you've made decisions on what you don't want anymore in your house, there's a
Yeah.
bit of feng shui in it too. So it becomes stagnant energy if that donation bag just remains in your house. So like get it out, right? Like we want to be able to create more flow in your life and in your home too.
Yeah.
And by doing so, then you're actually uplifting your energy too. I mean, if you want to link it back to like happy hormones, and it releases
Yeah.
dopamine too, so you feel good, right? You're surrounded by the things that you've consciously chosen, and your home should support who you are now and who you are becoming.
Yeah. It's interesting, as I'm hearing this,
Mhm.
I'm not a feng shui master by any means. So I can't say I'm like an expert into it, but ever since I understood energy and flow and everything that we're talking about, I did some minor research on feng shui, and I was like, that's exactly what we're saying. It's bring light, clean house, declutter house, into the house. So we're in this place of feeling good and the house has good energy. So I
Yes.
thought that was very interesting once I learned it. I know I digressed a little bit, but I was just like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in there.
I think it's also like, you're able to treat your space with reverence.
Yes.
And it's a way, I mean, even the most basic tasks of, like cleaning, Marie says, cleaning is an act of nature because dust is going to accumulate, right? You're going to have
Yeah.
to. Decluttering is an act of confronting yourself, because
Mm.
you have to make those decisions, and it goes hand in hand, because once the space is supporting you, the you can joyfully clean. It's so, imagine like you're going to wipe down the kitchen counter, but there's a bazillion things on top of it. Is that going to be joyful compared to, oh, it's a clean and cleared space, you can just like wipe in one fell swoop, right? So these are the little things that actually will recharge you, these
Oh my
tiny.
gosh. You're so right. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I only said, "Oh my gosh," because as you're saying this, I don't know if you experienced this with your
Mhm.
parents. My kitchen, there's, like, nothing on the counter. When I'm done,
Mhm.
the rice cooker, it goes into the drawer.
Yeah.
Everything goes in the drawer. My mother,
Mhm.
on the other hand, likes everything out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm agreeing with everything that you are saying.
yeah, and especially for, because I particularly work with highly sensitive people as well, and like actually, so for anyone, not just for the highly sensitive brain, but seeing clutter is going to dysregulate you. And if you do have a highly sensitive brain, it's going to dysregulate you even more than the average Joe, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is something about, um, it's, I see this so often where like we have to create these foundations. When your space is calmer, your nervous system is calmer, and you make better decisions. It's not coming from a place of pressure, but it's coming from a place of clarity.
Yeah, and when you have clarity, you can focus. That's how
Yes.
I am. If things are messy, I just can't work, I can't focus, but
Yes.
everything that you did, you broke it down to the T. You broke down the science of it.
I love what you had said earlier too, even just about, you have to hone in on your why. So with Marie's framework, we commit first. Step number one is commitment, and step number two is imagining your ideal life. Because when you know your why, when you know where you want to go, then you know what to bring with you, right? Like you know exactly. My colleague Helen, she was saying the other day, she's like, it's like packing for a trip. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to pack for it?
Mhm.
So that's why you have to get crystal clear on where you're going.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and decluttering at its core, it is a mindfulness practice. You're building awareness, and that awareness becomes capacity. Because let's face it, challenges are part and parcel of life. So we need to build that capacity so that we can face the challenges from a place of grounded clarity.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
clarity, everyone that's watching, clarity is key. Clarity
Yes.
gives you order, clarity
Yeah.
calms your nerves, clarity
Mhm.
gives you decisiveness,
Yeah.
so you can see your path, you can make those decisions. Um, just think about it. If I'm selling a boat, if I'm going to
Yeah.
Scotland, I'm selling my
Mhm.
boat. When it's clear, I'm sure of where I'm going. But when it was very cloudy, I'm like, okay, left, right. Where am I gonna go? This is when
Yeah.
the indecision comes in.
Yes.
So
Yeah. And
everything is inside out. Yeah.
100%. And like, clarity isn't something you find, it's something you create one choice at a time. So, and this is why I love the work so much too, because it is there, you're able to, it will, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It can feel hard, right? But when you know the steps, just like how you were saying earlier, you can just take it one step at a time, one subcategory at a time. And that's why, so many people around the world are in love with Marie's method, right? So, yeah, and I know you have a call soon, so we have to
Yeah.
wrap up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming live with me. I think this is so much fun, and I hope everyone that has watched this or will watch the replay, you guys are gonna get a lot of it because
Oh,
my whole thing one of the whole reason why we came together was, messiness starts with the mind. And the
yes.
more clear that
Mhm.
you could get in your mind, outside will show.
Yeah.
It does work hand in hand, right?
Mhm.
But that's why having the intention, having the clarity, having the right frame of mind and having this formula is gonna help every single one of us go a long
Yes.
way.
Yeah,
So thank you so much, Rebecca. Is there anything else that you like to say before we wrap it up?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just like that, this isn't about doing everything all at once, but it's all about small and sustainable shifts as well. So, thank you so much for inviting me as well. So, if anyone's interested in my work, then I have a membership here on Substack, but I also do one-on-one private mentoring as well. So, thank you, Lillian. I'm so excited.
Yeah, likewise. If you haven't followed, go ahead and follow, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.